Today is actually a very special day, but first, plot, and walking to school. As I kind of hinted at, the anime actually handles Risei's kidnapping very differently, and I much prefer the way they do it because it doesn't make the admittedly, the investigation team are a bunch of teenagers. It makes sense that they're not exactly the smartest about their stakeouts, and it does make sense that they would, make mistakes and jump to conclusions and mess things up. But the fact that they all rush off and leave the home completely unguarded. In the anime, they don't do that. In the anime, Yu stays behind with Risei while the others chase down the pervert. Also, and I also really like this, in the anime, Kanji, after Adachi arrests the pervert, explicitly points out that there's no way a wimp like that could have kidnapped him. That's something that really should have been addressed in the game itself, so I'm glad the anime does.
You okay?
I wasn't crying.
When asking if you were.
I was having fun out there. You forgot about me. I was abandoned.
I'm sorry, but the guy doesn't tell me to go into the TV again until the 25th.
We would never do that.
I'm sorry. Were you lonely?
I was bored. It made me all listless. I'm a useless bear. I don't even know what I am. I couldn't figure it out. No one would come visit me. Then I thought I heard voices from your world. They were all having so much fun. I was so lonely that I tried to cry, but I couldn't.
Well, you are hollow inside.
Shut up! Stop saying I'm hollow!
Don't snap at me. This is your world, isn't it? You're the one who said you just want to live here peacefully and made us promise to find the culprit.
Come on! I'm sure Teddy's just tired from thinking so much, right?
When I'm alone, I think too much. It makes me even lonelier. I was so sad that my chest would burst and cotton would fly out. Can I try scoring with you two someday?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Wait, what?
Can we please drop the whole scoring thing?
So something that I can finally mention, and some people in the comments have already done this by now, the whole scoring thing. In Japanese, it's a joke about Teddy using a phrase that he clearly doesn't understand, because the expression that Shadow Yukiko used specifically refers to a woman hitting on a man, and that's why it's so weird that Teddy says it. So, in some ways, localizing it as scoring a hot stud in that context makes sense, but shortening it to just scoring here loses a little bit of the joke.
Anyways, we wanted to ask you something. How's it been over here? Did a girl called Risei Kujikawa show up? Can you...
Risei Kujikawa?
Oh, sorry, I skipped over Yosuke's line there.
Did a girl called Risei Kujikawa show up? Can you sense anything? You can't tell? Your nose is kind of losing its edge lately, huh?
I'm a pretty shabby bear.
Guys, okay, Teddy's really depressed right now. Could you stop insulting him for once?
Soon, I won't be useful at all. Then I'll get thrown away. I can stay with you all?
Okay, then we'll go look for something that'll help you search, like last time.
I can't tell for sure, but I can kind of sense someone in here. I think I'll be able to find her. I just need some kind of hint.
It's once again investigation time.
There's a lot of things I don't understand. Thank you very much. You're really kind, Sensei. I'll try even harder from now on.
The Star Arcana represents hope, faith, renewal, and purpose, and the balance of practical abilities and intuition. While the Full Arcana represents infinite possibilities, the Star Arcana is an indication that those possibilities are in fact achievable. A further aspect of its symbolism is the fact that it follows the Tower Arcana, so Star can symbolize a period of new hope and renewal after tragedy or destruction. Personas of this arcana follow one of two themes. They're either mythological figures directly associated with the stars or astrology, or they're multi-talented entities with many different spheres of influence. In Persona 4, the Star Arcana is represented by our very own Teddy. And it's been a while since we've seen one of these. Star is a plot-based social link. It automatically ranks up at various points through the story, so no need to worry about working on this one. Provided we avoid any bad endings, Star will always max out.
I'll be waiting here.
Risei's investigation segment can be a bit tricky if you don't know exactly what to do, because you need to actually gather several different sources of information and use all of them to bargain with one other NPC and trade it for the info that you need. So, we need to go to the second floor of the practice building, actually, not the classroom building. It's easy to mix them up. I don't know why you can't fast travel to the second floor of the practice building, just the classroom building. But there's a Rosette fan over here who will tell us something useful. Where is the Rosette fan? Yeah, this guy. He wasn't here before. Oh, I should mention that the equivalent of Rosette was like Risechi in Japan. Yeah, she sounded really, really tired. Someone in the media, huh? That's one piece of info. Next, we're gonna go straight to the source and speak to Risei's grandmother. She'll certainly know something. It's just kinda cool how you've been past this tofu shop all the time, and suddenly it's relevant now. A papa rat. Well, he can't be the guy that we already caught. So, now we know that there's a paparazzo around. And at the Sumagawa floodplain, we need to talk to this guy. So, that's all we can do for today. We'll need to return to the floodplain tomorrow, but while we're here, we can give the cat fish. And yeah, we can give it a huge fish. Yeah, as I've said, this cat's stomach is a bottomless pit, but we'll be feeding it a ton of fish. Hey, these two are finally talking. That's nice. So, that is the most of what we're going to be doing today, but I'm going to go ahead and save, and then we're going to talk about something very infamous in the Velvet Room. You see, like I said, today is a national holiday. It's International Break Persona 4 Day, otherwise known as Victory Cry Day. You can technically do this on any day that has a random skill change for the fusion forecast. So yeah, there's skill change. But today is generally the first time you'll be at level 24 or above. So, remember when I said earlier that I wanted to get a ghoul with the minimum number of skills? This is what I needed it for. And I also need, I believe it's Ukubark. So, Devil Ukubark with only 2 skills. And Death Ghoul with only 2 skills. So fusing these two together, I have exactly 9,000 yen left. Wow. Fusing these two together will give us Kaiwan. So we don't really care too much about the level up we'll be getting out of Teddy's Social Link. What we care about is the fact that Kaiwan has Tetrakan. Tetrakan is considered a very high tier skill, the second highest tier in fact. And so, the skills that it will transform into are things like, Repel Physical, all of the other elemental repel skills, Arms Master and Spell Master, which halve the HP and SP cost of physical and magical skills respectively, some of the high tier physical attacks. There's a lot of really crazy skills you can get out of this, but the most infamous one in the fandom is Victory Cry. This fully restores your HP and SP at the end of every battle. If you get lucky and have it turn into Victory Cry, you are pretty much set for a lot of the game. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep fusing Kaiwan until I get a skill change on Tetrakan. The reason why I wanted the minimum number of skills on these two is the fewer skills Kaiwan has, the more likely the skill that's chosen to change is Tetrakan. So with this, I have a 1 in 4 chance of Tetrakan changing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to take whatever the first skill Tetrakan turns into is. But if it's Victory Cry, I will actually reset, because I feel that's actually too cheap. So I'm probably going to have to reset a lot here, because it's not guaranteed that Victory Cry will be the skill that's chosen to change. Yeah, see here it's just Cell Breaker, and if I allow that to change, it turned into there. You know, while I'm resetting for skills, I can talk a little bit about how the anime handles that scene. So, Yu stays with Rise in the anime, and because of that, Rise doesn't get kidnapped that day. What actually happens is the next day, both of them sneak out of the school to hide from her obsessive fans. And then her manager appears, and he's someone we'll actually be meeting a bit later on in the game, and says some things that we'll also be finding out a little bit later. They combine some elements that happen, I'll just say it, they combine elements of her social link into it, and Yu ends up saying something that accidentally offends her, and she gets upset and runs off, and that's what leads to her being kidnapped. So, they interestingly turned what is a moment of the entire party holding the idiot ball, as TV tropes would call it, to kind of a personal failing from the protagonist. Which definitely adds a bit of depth to him at that point. There we go, Tetrakan's changing. What's it going to turn into? Arms Master. Okay then. So, in my test playthrough, I got Spell Master. That's kind of nice, actually, although I'm going to need to pass that on to something else for it to be, useful. But yeah, Arms Master halves the HP cost of physical skills. Unfortunately, there's no way to get that onto Kanji or Chie outside of certain accessories, I think. But like, for example, I could do this and pass Arms Master down to Ares, which is really good. And I can also pass down a whole lot of my resist skills. Also, I still get the skill change bonus out of this. But if Arms Master is the skill that ends up changing, I'm not going to take it. Rampage can actually be a good way to get one of Margaret's requests done, actually. Resist... Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. That Narcissus is definitely a good persona to get back out of the compendium and fuse down some resist skills, though. Oh, I can actually go from Yu straight to, I think it's pronounced like Dune, and pass Rampage onto Yu. That is actually not bad at all. I also need to buy back Andhra because we're actually going to be seeing Moon today, or Bihara. But if you have enough money, you can keep buying back various personas and fusing Kaiwan over and over and over again to get more skill changes. So that can be pretty fun. But yeah, if you get Victory Cry, it's pretty unlikely. There is... You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm actually going to go ahead and go back down the stairs because I hangs out on the first floor. I am dumb. Yep, there she is right there. I'm going to go ahead and look up all of the skills that it can actually turn into. Okay, this is the list of skills that Tetrakan can turn into. Brave Blade, Rainy Death, Akasha Art, Myriad Arrows, Agniyastra, that's like the last attack Chie learns, by the way. Blight, which is actually kind of bad for a high tier skill. Media Rahan, that's a full party heal. Tetra Break, Makara Break, those are both awful, don't accept those. Makarakan, Repel Physical, Fire, Ice, Elect, Wind, Light, or Dark. Angelic Grace, which doubles evasion against all magic. Enduring Soul, which makes it so that if you die, you get fully revived. Arms and Spellmaster, and also Victory Cry. So just about everything there except Tetra and Makara Break, which are, in my opinion, complete trash, are amazing skills, so... Blight's not that great, it's just a decent physical damage to all enemies with a chance of poison, I think. She looks almost happy. Yeah, I'm certainly a lot happier because, yeah, those are some pretty great skills. I feel like the majority of them aren't really all that game-breaking this early on, apart from Victory Cry. Although, Enduring Soul, maybe. Because that effectively gives the protagonist, like, a lifeline, so basically they have 2 health bars. As long as they die with that persona equipped, but you can easily spread it around to things. So, here we need to say, this. I kind of follows the pattern of a lot of characters who start off as jerks, in that you generally have to encourage them early into the link. As much as anyone genre savvy will know that, they're gonna have development later. Either of these two works here.
Huh?
Yeah, seems like most people are pushovers with regards to you. I think she's looking for everything in particular. Something she said seems to have struck a nerve. Well, maybe she's just a jerk. You know, Japan actually does have vending machines for certain kinds of clothes. I think there are, like, underwear vending machines in some places. Either of the choices are fine here. But it's lines like this that make you think that she definitely has her issues. Because remember, the Moon Arcana is all about illusions. So yeah, if, like, I hope I'm not spoiling things too much, but if I is coming across as unlikable now, that's definitely intentional.
Goodbye.
But as you can tell by most characters in this game besides Hanako, everyone has their hidden
Welcome
depths.
home, big bro.
Also, he can work as a janitor. This just happens to be harvestable in time. Though cracked, like, even having cracked wheat gets a little bit annoying in the dungeons, for reasons that I'll show the next time we go in there. I guess we can just plant some more wheat. What I really care about is having those cabbages. We haven't even got to the line where Adachi became mimetically associated with cabbages, but he kind of is in the fan base. I forget if it's only from like a manga or something. There's like a thing where he talks about only being able to afford cabbage, and that became a huge meme. But tonight we're reading 100 ghost stories. Usually it's 101. Or, you know, if this is Japan, it'd probably be more appropriate to call it 108 ghost stories, given, you know, things like Spiritomb and stuff like that. I think that's a reference to, like, the 108 temptations that you're supposed to overcome in Buddhism. Maybe these contain stories like the mysterious stairs in Twilight Town that change every time you count them, except it turns out that it's just because, that guy's an idiot.
Yo!
Yeah, Twilight Town in Kingdom Hearts 2 was probably the first indication that Kingdom Hearts was going to go into some very mind-screw stuff. So, Rise's deadline is not for a while, but we're actually going to be going into the dungeon pretty much as early as possible. And it's probably so that we get more time to do Dojima's social link. But the cool thing is, it means that tonight we're going in on a thunderstorm day. And that is actually going to affect things in the TV world. It has been confirmed for me that thunderstorms are, in fact, Golden exclusive. Now, before we unlock the option to go to Rise's dungeon, though, we have to head to the Sumagawa floodplain and talk to, the paparazzo. Which most people don't realize, because paparazzi is feminine, I think. It's probably Italian. So this is an information exchange, and you need to exchange 2 types of information with this guy. We have to say she's different on TV because everyone knows the third thing. Yeah, and her shadow is even crazier. So, manufactured personality. And we also know that she's stressed. Yeah, she's had a ton of publicity. And a lot of interviews. Someone who is not sure who their real self is. That sounds like a perfect fit for our crew, honestly. Yes, she was pursuing her true self, as the game's theme song says. Rise really is just so fitting to a lot of the game's main themes, but we've completed our investigation. But there's one thing that we need to do before we go into the TV. I was actually saving giving the cabbages to the lady in Juness until now. Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't do this yet. In fact, in my first playthrough, I didn't have this until the dungeon after this. But if you can get it now... we get... no, seriously. This is one of the best weapons in the game. Yeah, you know, do whatever you want with those cabbages. We have your shovel, and that's all that matters. Sadly, that means the cleaning mop won't get a lot of screen time, but not only is this quite strong for this point, but it comes with Auto Tarukaja. This means that while you have this weapon equipped, you start the battle, or should I say, you starts the battle, with 3 turns of an attack buff. Most battles against random enemies don't last that long. So, combine that with attacks that hit all enemies, It lets you sweep through basic shadows really, really quickly. It is just such a great weapon to have. I think I said earlier that I don't really care so much about raw power in weapons as much as I do about their secondary effects. That secondary effect is absolutely fantastic. Now we don't need to worry about passing down auto Tarikaja to personas. Honestly, this weapon can actually serve you until the very end of the game if you want. And with that, we are ready to rescue Rise. And I will see you next time when we enter the crazy world of Rosette's mind.